Are we live? Well, hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna go ahead and get myself, make sure everything's all good to go. So give me a second here. All right, so we're live, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be another predictions video for you guys. And this is the NBA, because the NBA is starting today. I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on the 2019-2020 NBA season. So this looks like it's probably going to be a good season. The last couple seasons, other than last year's finals, were kind of predictable, especially with Golden State and Cleveland. Last year was definitely a good change of pace with Toronto and Golden State, but this year I'm looking to definitely get back into following NBA because I know I fell off of for a few years just because of seeing Golden State Cleveland 4 years in a row was not fun, and seeing Golden State make the finals 5 times in a row was not fun. This year, however, is going to be a lot different because you actually have some competition now, especially in the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference, and with my favorite team, which I'll go ahead and show you guys my jersey. This is a classic Sixers jersey for when they made the finals back in 2001. Yeah, it was 2001 when they played the Lakers. So, yeah. Could be an interesting year and I have my predictions, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give my standings for divisions, and then we'll go ahead and go into the playoff predictions. So I'm going to start off in the Atlantic Division against where my team, the Sixers, are playing. The Atlantic Division, I'm going to go from worst to first. So the worst team I think will be in the NBA will be the New York Knicks. This team is bad. This team is beyond bad. I feel so bad if you're a Knicks fan. Your team's going to be in for a long, rough year. Maybe you'll get somebody good in 2020, but missing out on Zion, missing out on KD and Kyrie, not a good look. I have them finishing in as the worst team in the Eastern Conference, as the 15th place team. So yeah, Knicks are just terrible. Not much else I could really say about it. In the fourth place, I have the Boston Celtics, who are my number 5 seed. Pretty much if we're going to go for my 2 through 5 seed, I pretty much are in order here because the Atlantic Division is very competitive, and the Boston Celtics, they definitely did lose some players, but they also got Kemba Walker, who's going to be a huge asset for him. And the Celtics were a playoff team last year. I think they'll definitely make the playoffs again. They'll be middle of the road pack of the playoff teams, but this is still a playoff team nonetheless. They have Brad Stevens, who's a really underrated coach. And this is the only Boston sports team I have some respect for. Every other Boston sports team, I have absolutely zero respect, or I hate them. The Bruins, the Boston Red Sox, and, of course, the fucking Patriots. So, yeah, Celtics I actually have some respect for, and they'll be finishing in 5th place. And I cannot wait for tomorrow night as the Celtics and Sixers opening night game. That's going to be a good game. Next up in 4th and 3rd place is the Toronto Raptors, my 4th seed overall in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Raptors losing Kawhi Leonard is huge. He was the main reason why they won against Golden State, and now they are going to have to play pretty well without them. They're still a very good team. They still have most of their pieces there. I think they only lost Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard. The rest of their team is still intact. I like the Raptors to finish in 4th place. In 3rd place, I like the Brooklyn Nets, surprisingly. They finished in 6th place last year, gave my Sixers a good run. I think the Nets, especially with having Kyrie there, are going to have a much better team. And they're going to be a much better team come next year when they get KD fully healthy. So the Nets are a very good team, and I definitely like where they're going. And this is definitely competitive. They're going to be a very competitive team. They have a lot of young talent there, and they're going to be primed for the next 3-4 years to be extremely competitive and competing for a title. So, yeah, I got the Nets in my 3rd overall position in the Eastern Conference playoffs and my 2nd place team in the Atlantic Division. And first, the Atlantic Division, my number 2 overall seed is the Philadelphia 76ers. Look, this team is a title contender. Pure and simple, this is one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And this team is just loaded. They Al Horford and free agency. Ben Simmons has been improving. Joel Embiid's getting healthier. They were one shot from going to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. One shot away. Kawhi didn't make the luckiest shot in the world. It could have been a completely different story. But the Sixers, I think, definitely have all the pieces to make an NBA Finals run this year. That's why I have them as my number 1 team in the Atlantic Division, winning the division, and the number 2 overall seed. Next up is the Central Division. The Central, this is a rough division, honestly. Other than the first place team, I really don't see much coming from this division. This is a pretty bad division. Starting with the 14th, my 5th place team, and number 14 over, like, second worst team in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers. God, this team is so bad. Even without LeBron James, they just have absolutely no talent. This team is just bottom of the barrel, terrible. They're just miserable team. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are in for a long year. Cavaliers fans are in for a long year. The Indians just missed out on baseball. The Browns are disappointing, and the Cavaliers are going to be once again disappointing. So, yeah, not looking good for you, Cavaliers. Not looking good. I have them finishing in last place in the Central. Next is 4th place in the Central. I got the Chicago Bulls, the 3rd worst team in the Eastern Conference. This is another team that they have some good young pieces, but they're still in rebuilding mode. They're a few years away from being a contender again. But this Bulls team, they have some young talent, which could be worth something, but just compared to the rest of the Eastern Conference, they're pretty bad. So I have them at the 4th place in the Central and 13th overall in the Eastern Conference. Then we have the 3rd place team and one of the teams that will barely miss it, the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons do have a good amount of talent. They have Blake Griffin. They have Drummond as well. This team has some talent to make a run, but I just don't see it. They did make the playoffs last year, but I don't see them doing it this year. I just see other teams that improved from last year, and the Pistons will just miss out. Next up is my 2nd place team in the Central Division, the Indiana Pacers. This Indiana Pacers team, if it didn't have Victor Oladipo, if they did have Victor Oladipo, they could have made a better run, but having him hurt in the middle of the year last year really hurt them, and they're going to be a pretty solid team this year. They'll be pretty solid. They definitely will make the playoffs. I don't have them making a big run, but I have them making the playoffs. So probably my 6th overall seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. But yeah, Pacers, 2nd place in the division, and 1st place in the division is the Milwaukee Bucks. You have the reigning MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. This team pretty much really didn't lose much. This team was the best team in the Eastern Conference, and they got beat by Toronto, which was a very good series. They could definitely be a contender for the NBA Finals too. Like, I only see about 2 to 3 teams from the Eastern Conference making the Finals. Where in the West, it's a completely different story. The Eastern Conference just has some really good teams, and Milwaukee's probably the best one. So yeah, Milwaukee Bucks, I have them as the 1st place division winner and the number 1 overall seed in the Eastern Conference. Then we go to the weakest division. Actually, this could be a pretty competitive division because you have pretty much the 12th, 11th place in the Eastern Conference, and you have 9, 8, 7. Pretty much, this is definitely the division winner will be the weakest, but they'll still have a chance at the playoffs, some teams here. So 5th place, I have the Charlotte Hornets. Losing Kemba Walker is going to hurt, and this team doesn't look promising at all to me. This team just looks pretty bad, and they're going to finish 5th in the Southeastern Conference. Them and the Wizards, who are actually my 4th place team, you can interchange between both of them because both of them are getting pretty bad, honestly. These teams they're just terrible. They are really bad. They're especially the Wizards, who are trying to start a rebuild here. Yeah, not looking good for the Wizards, or the Hornets. So I have the Hornets in 5th and the Wizards in 4th. and 12th and 11th place in the East, respectively. Yeah, they're going to be pretty bad. Then I have the team that is just going to be just shy of the Eastern Conference playoffs is the Atlanta Hawks. I think the Hawks have definitely improved a lot, and Trae Young, especially, a lot of people said he started off rough and then he improved. He improved really well, and I think the Atlanta Hawks have definitely a good shot of making the playoffs, but I just think that they're going to be just short of the playoffs and will fall out. I have them as third place in the Southeast Division. Then my number 2 place division is my second team. If I have a second team, is the Miami Heat. Miami Heat is post Dwayne Wade era now. We are now in the post Dwayne Wade era. This is definitely a playoff team. Tyler Hero looks amazing as a rookie, and Jimmy Butler is definitely going to be a good combo. Yeah, Dragic, Butler, and Hero. This could definitely be a strong 3 piece in Miami. And who knows? This is definitely going to be a team that can make a run here, but I have them finishing in second place in the Southeast Division and number 8 overall, the last team getting in the Eastern Conference. And finally, my first place team in the Southeast Division, the Orlando Magic. Surprisingly, the Orlando Magic won the division last year, and I think they will repeat. I think the Orlando Magic, they really didn't lose too much. Their team is pretty good. They have a lot of good young stars, and this would definitely be a team that will make the playoffs again. I definitely think that they'll be the Southeast champions, but they'll be the 7th overall seed in the Eastern Conference. So my Eastern Conference teams are the Bucks, Sixers, the Nets, Raptors, Celtics, Pacers, Magic, and Heat. Those are my 8 playoff teams for the Eastern Conference. Now let's go into the Western Conference. And if I really had like actually had a tiers list for which I'll actually go into a little bit of the teams that are just beyond bad and the teams that are almost there but also close. Yeah, these are teams I'll definitely talk about because the Western Conference is definitely going to be competitive this year, and there's going to be a lot of good teams in the Western Conference this year. That's for sure. The Western Conference, a lot of teams can win this conference. Unlike the East, the West is actually extremely competitive this year. And let's get into it. Starting with the Northwest Division. The Northwest Division. And I think this will be the worst team in the NBA. 5th place in the Northwest Division, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh, God. Losing Russell Westbrook must suck. And now your best player is going to be Chris Paul, who's in his later years, and he has been declining. Oh, God, I would feel so bad to be an Oklahoma City fan. This is a bad team. This is just bad. This is probably the worst team in the entire NBA. This team is going to be you only have Steven Adams too, who could be but you can't rely on Steven Adams and Dwayne and Chris Paul. Yeah, that's going to be pretty bad. The Thunder are going to be a joke. 5th place in the division. 4th place in the division is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Another team with some promising talent, but they just don't have it. I don't see much of it. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. But anyway. Oh yeah, the Emmanuel Sanders of Force. We're gonna talk about that later, football stuff later tonight in Pick'ems. So join us for Pick'ems around 9:30. We'll talk more about the NFL stuff then. This is just mainly specific NBA because I want to get into my NBA stuff pretty much. So the NBA is going to be interesting. The Northwest Division, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're going to be beyond bad. I don't think it'll be as bad as the Thunder, but this is definitely a team that just does not have the competitiveness when it comes to other teams in the Western Conference. And they didn't do much to improve in the offseason. So I have the Timberwolves finishing 4th place. 3rd place in the division is going to be the Utah Jazz. This was definitely a surprising team last year. They made the playoffs with Donovan Mitchell. And I think definitely the playoffs. I don't think they're a top tier contender, but I think that they're definitely a solid playoff team. I have them finishing third in the division. Second place in the division is the Portland Trailblazers. Another team with some great talent, Damian Lillard and many others. The Portland Trailblazers are a very, very good playoff team, and they definitely will make quick work, especially with having Thunder in the division. The Trailblazers are definitely another playoff team, and they'll definitely make a playoff berth this year as the 6th seed. So, yeah, Trailblazers are my second place team. First place team, no surprise here, the Denver Nuggets. We have Nikola Jokic as your top tier player, and you're getting so many good pieces back for this Denver Nuggets team. This Nuggets team could definitely make a run at the finals. They have a lot of good pieces in them, and this is a strong, strong team. And yeah, I really do like the Nuggets here. I definitely think they'll be a top 4 team in the Western Conference. So yeah, with that being said, that's the Northwest Division. The Pacific Division is going to be probably the toughest division, mainly because of 3 teams and 2 terrible teams. But let's get into it. The fifth and fourth place teams. Let's be honest, guys. The Suns and the Kings. Yeah, they have no shot at winning the division at all. They have no shot. When you have the Lakers, Warriors, and Clippers in your division, you're fucked. These teams are fucked. The Suns, they're still in rebuilding mode after 20 years of still rebuild. They haven't been a good playoff team since the early 2010s. Or late 2000s, early 2000s. They haven't been a playoff team. So I don't expect anything much from the Suns. They do have some young talent, which I do like with DeAndre Ayton, but they still got a long way to go. The Kings, pretty much the same thing. The Kings do have some talent, but until LeBron retires, until Kawhi leaves the Clippers, which I don't know when the hell that'll be because he just signed there. Don't expect the Kings to make the playoffs. Let's just be honest here. They'll be mid of the pack, but I don't think they'll be a contender. Third place, though, I got the Warriors. Yeah, surprisingly, I got the Warriors here in third place. The Warriors, for me, lost a whole lot. They lost Kevin Durant. You lost Klay Thompson for the season. He will be officially out for the whole season with the ACL injury. He is not going to play. Yeah, this team is definitely going to be a tough. Definitely, even though you did get D'Angelo Russell, this team, they'll be a playoff team. Don't get me wrong. They're going to be a playoff team, but I just don't have them going very far this year. That's just all I got to say. Then, let's be honest, the top 2, you guys pretty much guessed it, Clippers and Lakers. I have the Lakers being the second overall seed and Clippers being the number 1 seed. What do I really need to say that hasn't been said about it? When you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George for the Clippers, along with the talent they had at making the 8th seed last year, they're freaking favorites for a reason. And the Lakers, they got Danny Green. You also got Anthony Davis. What else is there more to say? And you got LeBron James. Well, do I really need to say anything else, honestly? Because no, I really don't. Moving on to the Southwest Division, probably one of the weakest divisions, I think. Actually, they do have some competitive edge to them, but let's get into it. I don't mean they're the weakest division overall. That probably would be the Southeast, but this is probably the Southwest is probably the second worst division. Because they have some talent, but they're just not the levels of some other divisions. So the Southwest, let's get the 5th place team, obviously, out of the way. It's the Memphis Grizzlies. Even though you did have the number 2 pick in the draft, Ja Morant, it's going to be a long while before you guys are competitive again. Sorry, just not competitive at all. Grizzlies are in rebuild mode. Be ready for another rebuild. Then we have the 4th place team, which is actually going to be a surprise to everybody. A team I think will miss the playoffs for the first time in a long time. That is the San Antonio Spurs. I have them finishing in 10th place in the Western Division, Western Conference, and I think this team just doesn't have the pieces. They have the best coach in the league in Greg Popovich, but I just think that they're going to take a step back because the teams in the Western Conference jumped ahead of them. I just think that too many teams jumped ahead of them. So, yeah, I got the Spurs missing out the playoffs for the first time in almost 20 years, I think. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough year, Spurs fans. It's going to be a tough year. And I know Steel Man's a Spurs fan, so I think it's a tough year for him. So, then we have the third place team, the New Orleans Pelicans. I think they'll just miss the playoffs. They have some very good pieces. Zion Williams, who getting the number one pick in the draft. He's a game changer. He'll be a very good rookie this year. He'll have a very good year. Even though he's out the first 6 to 8 weeks, he'll be very good. The Pelicans, I think they need one more year before they make the playoffs. One more year before they make the playoffs. So, yeah, Pelicans, I think they will finish the ninth place in the Western Conference. Very close, but still a little bit short. Then I have the second place team is the Dallas Mavericks. I think this team improved a lot, especially getting Kristaps Porzingis, Luka Doncic, and the talent they have, especially with Mark Cuban as the owner. He wants to make the playoffs again, and they're going to make the playoffs again this year. This duo is going to be very good, and yeah, I expect the Mavericks to get to sneak by the Pelicans and get the eighth seed. Then we have first place. Let's be honest, it's the most obvious pick. It was probably the lock, the one division where you could pretty much predict the winner. Other than the Central, it's probably the Central is a pretty bad division too. But yeah, the Houston Rockets. This is their division by a mile. No one's being there for the division, especially since they got Russell Westbrook and James Harden on the same team. Since they were in the Oklahoma City Thunder, yeah, I don't see anybody winning in this division. So. With that being said, yeah, I got the Houston Rockets. Pretty much it's going to be a very, very easy division for the Rockets to win. So that being said, my playoff teams, the Western Conference are Clippers, Lakers, Rockets, Nuggets, Warriors, Trailblazers, Jazz, and Mavericks. And for the teams that didn't make the playoffs, I'm going to have a team right here. Worst teams, tier list. This is their list. So the beyond awful teams, the Knicks, the Thunder, the Cavaliers, the Bulls, the Hornets, and the Wizards. All terrible. Then we have the teams that will be mediocre. The Suns, the Grizzlies, the Pistons, the Hawks. Teams that will barely make it: Timberwolves, Kings, Spurs, and Pelicans. Yeah, pretty much those teams are where they are at. So let's get into my NBA playoff predictions. So we're going to start off with the Western Conference. I'm going to go Western Conference and Eastern. Western Conference, first series, Clippers and Mavericks. I think the Mavericks will give them a decent game, but Clippers are too damn good. Clippers in 5. Then we have Lakers and Jazz. Yeah, Lakers are probably going to sweep the Jazz here, 4-0. Lakers. Then we have the third is the Houston Rockets and the Portland Trailblazers. This was a playoff matchup last year, I think, where the Trailblazers won. Houston gets their revenge. Houston wins in 7 games, I think. The Trailblazers will get their Trailblazers make competitive, but yeah, I got the Rockets. Too good. Then we have the Nuggets and the Warriors. Wow. And this is my big playoff prediction right here. The Warriors only win 1 playoff game this year. 1 playoff game. That's it. Warriors only win 1 playoff game. Denver Nuggets roll over the Warriors. So yeah, that's one of my big playoff predictions for the Warriors. Warriors only win 1 playoff game. Nuggets in 5. Then we have Clippers and Nuggets. Be a damn good series. Nikola Jokic versus Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. God, that'd be a great freaking series. But I think Clippers in 7. Clippers are just too good. Then we have the Lakers and the Rockets. Ooh, another good series. I just think the Lakers' talents are too good, though. And I think the Lakers would just squeak past them in 6 games. Then you have the Clippers and Lakers, the same stadium showdown, because they both share the Staples Center. I like the Lakers. To be honest, I'm just not being objective here, not being biased. I like the Lakers in 7 games over the Clippers. I think the Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, it's just going to be too much for Kawhi and Paul George to overcome in the long run. So, yeah, I got the Lakers going to the NBA Finals in 7 games. Now let's go into the Eastern Conference, predict the Eastern Conference. So the first matchup I would have is the Bucks and the Heat. Heat will probably give them a little bit of a scare, but Bucks win in 6 games. Then we have the Sixers and the Magic. Yeah, no, sorry, Magic. Sixers are going to win in probably about 5 games. I could see them giving up 1 game, so 5 games for the Sixers. Then we have the Nets and the Pacers. Could be upset special here. I think the Pacers can definitely upset them. So I got the Pacers actually over the Nets in 7 games. I think the Pacers could, if they have Victor Oladipo healthy, could shock Kyrie. Because I think the Nets are just 1 year away from being an NBA title contender. They're going to be good this year. They'll be 1 year away. Once they get KD, then that combo is going to be unreal. But after that, we have the Raptors and Celtics, probably the best series out of this. I would say the Raptors just have a little bit more talent-wise compared to the Celtics. So I gotta give it to the Raptors in 7 games as well. And that would set up the rematch, actually, the Sixers and Raptors rematch. But this time you don't have Kawhi with helping you out. I got Sixers. And then you have the Pacers and the Bucks. Yeah, I don't see really the Pacers giving the Bucks much problems here, even with that. So I got the Bucks. Then you would have the finals rematch, Eastern Conference Finals, which I picked. But unfortunately, it was 1 shot away from happening. The Bucks and the Sixers. This would be probably the best series out of the entire Eastern Conference. Probably what many people are already predicting for the Eastern Conference series. So I got to give it to my team, the 76ers. I just think that they have too much depth and too much of a good, better roster than the Bucks to make it just past them in 7 games. And that would set up my official NBA Finals prediction. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Philadelphia 76ers, the rematch of 2001 NBA Finals. Oh, there's also a rematch of the 1983 Finals, and the Sixers beat the Lakers, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, my official NBA Finals prediction is the Lakers and the Sixers. What a series this would be. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid versus LeBron and Anthony Davis. God, just sign me up for that. That sounds like the best finals matchup that anyone would want. In my honest opinion, though, as much as I would hate to say this, I think the Lakers are just going to win again. Just like in 2001. It won't be a blowout, but I think the Lakers will win in 7 games. It would be a tough series to predict because I think if I had my projection correctly, the Sixers will have the better record than the Lakers. But God, this is a coin flip realistically. If you have Lakers Sixers, it'd be a coin flip. As much as I want to say my 76ers would win, it's just too tough to bet against LeBron James and Anthony Davis because I think LeBron realistically only has like 2 years realistically left before he's done because he's going to start producing and have his own Hollywood career because he's almost done the NBA. So I think he finally wins a title he hasn't had since 2016 and capitalizes and starts the new decade with a win in the NBA Finals. LeBron James wins a title in 2 decades. Starting in 2020, he'll win his first title, and I think it'll be his last title as an NBA player. The Lakers in 7 games. My finals prediction, that my finals MVP would be Anthony Davis. So I think that's the reason why They would. If Anthony Davis was not in this matchup, if he like somehow Anthony Davis there or get there, Anthony Davis wouldn't be in the finals matchup, I would pick the Sixers. But Anthony Davis is just a game changer. So yeah, that's my finals prediction, guys. Lakers over Sixers in 7 games. What are your guys' thoughts on my NBA predictions? Let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, guys, I'll be on later tonight with Steel Maiden, Jerome, Gary, hopefully Tiny Tim, Alex, looking at, and we'll see who is. We're going to do our pick'ems for Week 8. And yes, we'll talk about Emmanuel Sanders, the 49ers, Mohamed Sanu, the Patriots. We'll talk about all that stuff tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. With that being said, guys, I got to start getting ready to go to the gym. So with that being said, see you guys later. Stay awesome. And let's go Sixers. That's right. Let's go Sixers.